In 1894, on the 4th of August, the Toubon Law was passed in France. The Toubon Law mandates the use of French in official government publications, advertisements, workplaces, and the like, and was proposed by Jacques Toubon. The Toubon Law was created to encourage use of French within France and to put a cap on the overuse of English. In truth, this isn't the first time France has worked to promote its language. In 1539, the Ordinance of Villers-Cotterêts, which required legal documents to be written in French, was created. And then in the 17th century came the Académie Française, a council for the management of the French language. So, what's new this time? That might have to do with the shift in power that's been in the works for several centuries now. Back in the 17th century, France was at its prime. With King Louis XIV on the throne, France held Europe in its hands. The Palais de Versailles set guidelines for European culture. French was used as the main language in treaties and royal courts all over Europe. France was on the top of the world. And then a new sun came rising over the horizon, the British Empire. During the 18th and 19th century, Britain was crushing it at this imperialism game, gaining territories left and right across North America, India, Africa, and even parts of Asia. With every new piece of land taken over by the British, English was spread to that many more countries. And as if that was the end, 1914, June 28th, the Great War, World War I, came into view. The war took a major toll on France. Buildings were destroyed and its population was greatly reduced. Like much of its European neighbors, France had lost some of its former glory. To top it all off, we had a new kid in town, the United States. While Europe had taken direct hits from the war on their own land, the U.S. was safe in its vacation island across the Atlantic. The Treaty of Versailles encapsulates this shift. It was written in French and English. English was winning the war for the title of global language. Things haven't gotten much better since. We've experienced major improvements in technology, from space exploration to the internet, and English has traveled right alongside them. The 1990s were prime time for the growth of international companies and a proliferation in the use of English. France, understandably, felt threatened. France wanted to protect its language. But why?
I will introduce the first case in which the global company Nike violated the Toubon Law. In France, using only English in advertising is prohibited by Toubon Law. French Nike only used English slogans such as "Just Do It" in their advertisements. The French government issued a correction order for failing to include a French translation. Second, I will introduce a case where Virgin Electronic Company provided manual only in English. Information about the French product must be provided in French. The French government, which determined that the Toubon Law had been violated, issued sale bans or modification orders to these companies. Lastly, I will introduce examples of excessive use of English expressions on public institution websites and official documents. According to the Toubon Law, government and public institutions must be French. Citizen Group has raised issues with several companies that violated the Toubon Law.
For France, language is not just a tool. It is their identity, culture, and power. First, culture exception. France believes culture is not just a product. Movies, musics, and language are not for profit alone. They carry the deep meaning, history, and values. Second, linguistic sovereignty. Language is the identity of the republic. If a country loses its language, it risks losing how it thinks and sees the world. Third, cultural diversity. Protecting French is not just about rejecting others. It is about keeping many voices alive in a global world. So, the Toubon Law is more than a law. It is not simply about controlling the language use. It reflects France's deep cultural identity and values. In this sense, The Toubon Law is a culture statement in a world increasingly dominated by one language.